Welcome back to another edition of the B4evaKool podcast. My name is Rex45, and this evening we got Will from Florida, a racer that I've seen, I think, with Pan American Series.
Yeah,
Welcome to the show, Will. How you doing this evening?
good man. Thanks for having me. Pretty cool.
Nice, nice, nice. How are things?
Good man. Good. Having a little bit busy week, but yeah, man. I saw you on Instagram one day, and I remember you made a post about who should I recommend next to do an interview with.
Yeah,
I recommended Adrian, Dreadmon,
yeah,
the
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, I've known him for since 2018 ish. We started
Okay,
racing
okay.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man. And ever since, I mean, if you listen to his interview, he'll tell you exactly what it is. He used to race with like this old beat up ZX6, and we used to race together. And I remember he would come in the. I'll never forget being behind him, and he'd be on the brakes. And I swear to God, the back of the bike was da 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 da,
Just
because it didn't have
hopping.
a. Yeah, because it was like a '03 or '04 or '05 or '06 or something,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he would
yeah, yeah.
he'd be a beast on the brakes and da 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 da. He'd make the turn and keep going, and I'm next to him like, what the heck?
Right,
So
right. That's
yeah,
pretty wild.
yeah,
Well, let's before we get to 2018, man. Let's talk about
yeah.
how you got on two wheels. What was the deciding factor for you? Were you young and kind of your parents rode and so you kind of went
Oh,
along, or was it
oh
later in
man.
life? What was your story where you decided, hey, I'm gonna get a motorcycle?
Yeah, so my a lot of people, they grow up with their parents riding and this and that, and for me, it was nothing like that. I grew up skateboarding and doing that kind of sport. And then I skateboarded a lot. And then I got to the age, I was about 20 or 21, and I forget exactly what triggered me. I think I was working and I had a little bit of money, and I was like, man, I want to get a motorcycle. And I don't know what triggered it, but something popped in my head like, man, I want to get a motorcycle. Um, my dad, he never rode motorcycles. I think uh, my brother-in-law, my wife's ex-husband, he had a motorcycle. So that was like when I was a little kid and they got married. I remember they got married on the motorcycle, and I remember seeing the
Oh
bike. And
wow.
yeah, that was like the first, like, I couldn't even tell you what bike it was. That was the first like incident of someone in my family having a motorcycle. But
Yeah, 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 okay.
yeah, I don't know. It was I don't know. Just one day I was like, I want to get a bike, and I bought my first bike when I was about 21 ish.
Hmm.
Um, and it was a it was a 2008 Gixxer 1000.
Oh
Oh,
wow. Yeah, okay,
oh,
okay. That's interesting. So my first bike was a Ducati Street Fighter 848, and
yeah,
I race KTM RC 390s now, and this was back
yeah,
in
yeah,
2012. So what
yeah.
made you decide to get the 1000, and what was your first ride like?
Man, so dude, I remember I don't know. I didn't know nothing about bikes, man. I just was like, wow, I got the white and gray one, and I just
Uh
remember
huh.
I thought it looked so cool, man, with the single
Yeah,
headlight.
yeah.
Dude, I love that bike, man, the 2008. And I remember actually the day I bought it, my best friend, he I don't even know if I had my endorsement at the time, man. My best friend, he had to like drive it from the dealership from me, and and like I kind of had to learn how to ride a motorcycle on that bike. So um
Okay.
yeah, I was young and dumb and crazy, and I just, I'm just so grateful that I didn't. I crashed a couple times on it on the street, but thankfully it was nothing like crazy. And
Right,
uh,
right. And so
yeah,
did the salesman convince you to get the bike, or did your friends just like get 1,000? You want 1,000?
dude, no, I didn't even have friends that had a motorcycle. I was just like on Craigslist scrolling
Yeah.
around, and
Okay.
I'm like, damn, that bike looks badass. And I think maybe it was like a cool thing. I wanted to be like the cool guy, like with a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
motorcycle and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I just, but my best friend rode bikes and stuff too, but like mostly like he worked at the this like custom Harley type of shop at that time, the guy
Right.
who rode the bike home for me. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I was a spur of the moment thing. I had the money, and I went there, I bought it, and it was from a bike shop, and it was a used bike with like like 8,000 miles, and they were like, I think they probably thought I was crazy too, but it is what it is, man.
It is
Um,
what it is. So what
I
was that?
had,
What?
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so that's the bike that I started with, and I had that bike for a long time, man. I rode it a lot on the street for easily like 10,000 miles.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and then one day, this is how I got started into track. I was just like on the computer, and I forget how it brought up, man. This was back in the days of there used to be like this forum that we'd go on like South Florida before like Facebook was like big with the groups and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was like a forum like South Florida Riders, and I'd go on there, and then I saw that these guys would go to the track, and I'm like, whoa, go to the track. And I thought it was like the drag strip, right?
Right.
And
Right.
then
Right.
I found Florida Track Days, and then like I said, dude, I was just me by myself. Like I had a couple buddies that rode, but no one really would go to the track. And so I was like, you can go, and like I'm looking it up, I'm researching, and I see that you can go and ride on the racetrack on your motorcycle. And I was like, no
Yeah.
way is this possible,
Yeah.
man. They're just gonna
No
let me go out
kidding.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And so, what was your feeling like? Riding that thousand in the beginning, and how long did it take you to get comfortable? Because you said you did 10,000 miles, and was that like 10,000 miles in like a year, 2, 3 years? What was?
I think I had that thing for like 2 years or so before I brought it to the track, man. But dude, I don't know. It's one of those things where like I just rode. Like we would go meet, the stereotypical bike night. You go meet
Yeah.
everybody, you go post up, and then you go drive down to like Miami, and you do a couple loops, and you go down to Hollywood Beach and Fort Lauderdale Beach, and then you just come
Yeah.
up and go to West. Like it was just, your typical street riding, and you obviously think like, oh, yeah, I'm a good rider or whatever. But yeah, I don't even know if I knew how to ride that bike. Like I said, I crashed it on the street I crashed on the street, I think like twice. And
Hmm.
each time, each time it was like the first time I crashed it, I was like, oh man, okay, I fixed it. And then like another time I dropped it and I turned it into a street fighter. You know how everybody when they crash a street bike, they turn into a
Yeah, the
street
Street
fighter.
Fighter. Right.
Like, no, dude, you didn't turn into a street fighter. You crashed.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah. No, no kidding.
Yeah, but I mean, there was no. I was just doing it for the fun, putting in the headphones, driving around. It just felt fun. I just loved it. It wasn't. Like I said, I meet up with some friends for some group rides, but it wasn't. I didn't. It wasn't any like big club or nothing, like a big bike
Right,
club or
right.
nothing like that. So it was just. I don't know, man. I just loved it, and then
Nice.
that slowly turned into me like wrenching on the bike a little bit. I started to, that's when I really started to get into like my other, I guess my other like passion in life, I guess you could say. But that got into my mechanical side, and like
Okay.
that really got me into like into working with my hands, and I started learning about the bike, and I started to find like another side of the whole picture that really started to drive me to really like motorcycles and riding in
Nice,
general.
nice. So you saw the on the phone, you saw guys were going to the track. What was your
Yeah.
first track you went to? And like, what was that first experience like? Because for me, I was like I bought my bike in 2012. I probably did like not probably I did over 11,000 miles in a year, and I lived in Boston at the time, so I had like
Uh-huh.
heated gear. I rode pretty much
Yeah.
even in the wintertime, unless there was snow on the ground. I pretty much rode, and then my one of my buddies told me about going to the track, and I ended up like buying his track bike, and it was an SV 650,
Yeah. Yeah.
and went to like Loudon like the next year and stuff like that. So over the winter, I was like buying gear and all that, and my first day was like I had no clue what was going on. So what was it like? What was that prep like? You're like, okay, I'm going to the track. Right? Like, what happened after that?
Well, I mean, it was pretty much like your standard, like, I think at that time I was driving, I had like a 2004 Chevy Impala. And I
Okay.
remember I got like a freaking tow hitch on the car from
Yeah,
U-Haul,
yeah,
and I got
yeah,
the U-Haul trailer, and I put the bike on the thing,
yeah.
and, just show up to the track and just be like totally, man, you would walk by those people, and like it was a lot of anxiety. a lot of
Yeah, yeah,
anxiety. You're
yeah. Oh
scared.
yeah.
You're like, you know you're the new guy, right? So you know like everyone's kind of like oh yeah yeah new guy. You know you're the new guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
and so the first track was Palm Beach International Raceway,
Okay.
which now it's closed.
Yep.
Hopefully somebody will buy it and reopen it. But
No doubt.
yeah, it was Palm Beach with Florida Track Days, and yeah, I don't remember much specifically, but I just know in the beginning. I mean, I know in the beginning it was just intense, man. There was just so much. When you go there, you see the trailers and the
Oh
bikes,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
you just feel like you're I don't know, you almost feel like you don't fit in,
Yep. Oh,
because it's like
yeah, for sure.
I'm like this kid with like I didn't think I had a pop up tent, dude. I had to rent the boots, rent the
Yeah.
suit, rent
Okay.
everything.
Wow. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
And you went on your street bike, so street
yeah,
tires,
yeah, of
taped up the
course.
lights. Now at the time, I don't know. I think they must offer this now, but I don't know if they offered it then. Did they? Did you take like the beginner signed up for the beginner,
Uh,
and I assume they had some classroom sessions, but what was all
yeah,
did it just
yeah.
what was
Florida
that
track
like?
days. Yeah, Florida track days. They have trying to remember. Yeah, they do. In between the sessions, you go to the classroom and you do a lot of stuff. And but I never. I mean, there was no like one-on-one coaching, but it was just like
Right,
you go out one session, lead follow. I think maybe two sessions lead follow, and then you come back. And every time you go to the classroom, and they do all that good stuff, and they talk to you about what you should be doing and not should be doing. Um, and actually, you know, when I when I first started riding, or when I first started going to the track, like I would go by myself. Like I said, I didn't have any friends that went to the track. I barely had any.
right,
I had a couple friends that rode on the street, but no one really went to the track. So I remember, I think I ran, and at that time, Florida Track Days did Palm Beach and Homestead, which I mean, they still only do Palm Beach and well, now they only do Homestead, but
right.
um, so it would be alternating back and forth, right? And then like they would do one, I think it was like once every month. They have two track days a month. They'd go to each track, and the first couple times I would just go by myself and just I was like scared to talk to anybody. I was scared to
Yeah,
talk to
yeah, yeah,
coaches. The
yeah.
coaches, they're like, I don't know, man. I'm very like, I'm an introverted type of guy. And
Yeah.
sometimes like something new. I mean, dude, it's just you see these guys with the suits and the knee pucks all dragging on the ground. And you're like, dude, I don't want to talk to him. I don't even know what I'm doing out here.
Oh yeah, no, I feel you there. I'm the same
you
way. I
know?
go to the track. I still this day. I don't. If someone come and talk to me, I'll talk to people. But like, I don't
Yeah.
walk. If I'm going anywhere, I'm just going where I need to get to, which is probably food or the bathroom or something like that. And I'm still the same way years later. And for me, like even like I did. I was like I said, I was in Boston for a while, and I went to Loudon, New Hampshire Speedway. So and I didn't do any track. I guess technically I did a track day my first time there, but it's the Penguin School, and they teach you how to race, and you get your race license if you don't crash your first, the rookie race, which is usually the first race of the day,
yeah.
kind of thing. But I remember being out there and it was just like, what am I doing out here? What am I doing out here? And
Yeah.
but by the end of the day, like I was hooked, and I've been hooked ever since. So like, after your first, so was it like, so you went, did you all of a sudden started going like every month? Or because for me, I only like I did two rounds the first year, second year I did 2 rounds. And then after that, I've been racing or track at least 7 or more times a year
Yeah.
since 2015.
Yeah.
What
Wow.
was your like after your first day and stuff?
uh I mean, I did track days for years, man, and honestly, I was in the novice group for, I would say, the first, because I was scared to go to intermediate, and like I said, I didn't really talk to anybody when I went, so I was just by myself all the time, and I would go like on
Right.
Reddit. I would go on Reddit and see like tips and tricks and like techniques, and
Yeah.
but I think I rode novice for, I think like my first like 7 or 8 track days, man. I was
Okay.
just like
Okay.
I was so afraid to make that jump to intermediate,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then because they have novice, intermediate, and advanced, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I'm a slow learner. Well, I think I'm a slow learner at least, but in
Oh,
the beginning
same
I was
here.
slow. Yeah, in the beginning I was slow. Um, and then I forget when I started to write it. I think like I bought like after that Jigsaw 1000, I think I bought a I don't know what I was thinking, man. I bought a 2003 Gixxer 600. So
Okay.
because I don't know why I wanted that bike. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe I like the way
It's a
that the
nice
fat
bike.
body style.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
just like for like I got an '08 Gixxer 1000, why would I go to a 2003? I don't know. Now I don't
yeah,
know what I was
yeah,
thinking.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I bought that bike and I like bought all this crap for it and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be like my real track bike."
Right.
And then I think it was around that time I started riding intermediate. Um,
On 1,000.
no, on the 600.
Okay. All right.
On the stick, I think I don't know. It was this is I think I've been doing track days for like 10 years now, man. It's been I
Nice,
forget how it
nice.
was in the
Okay.
beginning,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I did track days for a while, and then I didn't start. I mean, I could fast forward the track days or whatever, but I started racing because of course you would see the racers there, and I remember seeing people like all the teams like Tony Montenegro and Bike Pass
Hmm.
Motorsports and Motocourse and all these big guys down there. And I remember seeing like Alex Wonka, like when he was a lot younger, like this was years ago. And
Hmm.
who else? Like Stefano Mesa was all down there, and all these other fast guys. And they would be like, "Oh, it was CCS," and they'd always be
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about like,
yeah.
"Oh, you should race with CCS. You should race with CCS." And then finally, when FMRRA started, the Florida Motorcycle Road Racing Association,
Yep.
before it was Pan Am, I think they started in 2016.
Okay.
And I think I did my first race with them because the first season that they started, I remember like I was the first season they had it like live streamed. And
Oh, no kidding. Nice.
yeah, I don't know if it was every race, but they had like a little YouTube channel and they like live streamed all the races. And I remember watching
Yeah.
that was when Max Angles, Max Angales,
Hmm.
when he first started racing that year, and everyone was like watching him race with the other fast guys, Stefano and everything. And I think that was the first year. And the second year, I finally, at this time I bought like a beat up R6 for my good friend Alfie, and I
Hmm.
built that one up. I'm like, I'm gonna race this one. And
Got you, got you.
in
Okay.
2017, I think I did like one or two rounds, and this was with Florida Motorcycle Road Racing Association. And I remember it was
Right.
like, I think the first race I did, I think it was raining that weekend,
Oh,
and I think
nice.
I crashed on like my first race.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, listen, man, I've done that. I crashed on a warm up lap, so.
Oh, for real?
Oh
On the
yeah.
warm up
Oh
lap?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So let me tell you.
No,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've done it.
no. Oh my
But
God,
like,
that's
okay,
funny.
so in the beginning, you mentioned that you really didn't know how to ride. Even though you did like
Yeah.
10,000 miles on a bike and stuff. And you stuck around in the beginner, the novice group, for some rounds. What at some point you started to figure it out, and so what was that like? You're like, okay, I know what I'm doing now, or I know more than I did, and at that point, did you look back and be like, why did I do these things I did after getting the knowledge of the racetrack and just riding body positions, all these things.
Well, the real like I think catalyst with like my motorcycle racing and all that is one time I went down to Homestead Miami Speedway, and
Hmm.
I pulled up in the garages because over there they have garages, the NASCAR garages and all that.
Yep, yep.
So I was in the garage, and I forget what year this was. Maybe this is like 2015 or 16. I don't know, something like that. And a car pulls in and starts unloading, and I look at the dude and I'm like, "Hey man, do I know you?" And it was like an old friend of mine from high school.
No
A-
kidding.
And I was like, his name's Chris, and I was like, "Chris, what the hell, dude?" And then so he started unloading his bike. He had a CBR 600,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it was like, we connected there. Hadn't seen him in years since high school, and he's telling me almost the same story that he like bought the bike. He found out he can go to the track, and so like you know, meeting him that day at the track was like it was like meant to be. Because after I met him, him and I would like we'd be competitive with each other, and we're
Right.
like we're looking at the photos and we're getting the GoPros and we're just riding track days and we're going to then we started to go to Jennings and like we're just trying like we kept pushing each other to go faster and faster and like then we started watching getting into MotoGP and like
Yeah.
that was like the like my buddy my track friend and
Yeah. Yeah.
that was really like I said the catalyst that really pushed me to like start getting competitive because we wanted to be competitive with each other and um yeah man meeting him it was like I don't know it's crazy man because you know I don't did I
What are the
think
odds,
he
right?
yeah, like dude, he literally pulled into the garage, the same garage as me, and was like, "Oh, what's up? I didn't know you're coming." Um, and now I don't know
Yeah.
if he ever raced. I think he did like a couple races with us, but eventually he moved away. But when him and
Yeah.
I were when him and I were riding together before, I started racing and stuff, we would go to Jennings, and we went to Jennings like when we first went to Jennings, we got hooked.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know if
Right.
you.
Right.
I think you
I've
said you've
been.
been to Jennings, right?
Yeah. 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 I've been a couple of times now. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I love Jennings, man. Every time you go up there, it's like it's a vacation, and it's just like so relaxing, and it's just so fun, man. Um,
Yeah, no, it is a good time. I did a track day, and I was fortunate to race, do an endurance race back, I think in February. So,
oh, oh, the Separano Classic.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was there, man.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I was racing in the twins class with
Oh,
Monkey
okay, yeah.
Works.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. We were in the 400 Ninja 400 class, and I was a fill-in rider for somebody who couldn't make it because of all the cold that was happening that weekend or that week. One of the
Yeah.
guys couldn't leave their farm, so I got called up, and so it was a cool experience though. And I'd hope to do it again. So okay, so were you on the R 660 or?
No, 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 no. We were on the that's actually a pretty shitty weekend to be honest. Uh,
Oh,
so all right, so here we are, fast forwarding to today, right? So,
yeah.
my really, really, really good friend Eric, who owns a Monkey Work Cycle in Daytona Beach,
Yep.
um, him and our other friend Haley, who she works for the company Mayhew Tools. You
Oh
know?
yeah, I've had Haley on the show already. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think I saw the episode.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah. So Haley and Eric and I, we teamed up. I'm super grateful they let me ride with them. Haley has an R7 and Eric also has an R7. So we rode their bikes,
yeah,
but yeah, we didn't really have a good weekend, man. We ended up uh, we rode Haley's bike and then we rode Haley's bike and her engine. Well, the first race we got fourth, right?
yeah,
And then we went counter direction
yeah,
and
yeah.
that race we were in third place with like a solid third place in our class.
Oh, no kidding.
And I think with dude, what was it? Like 15 minutes left to go. The engine blew up. It dropped a valve.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was a stock engine, like stock air but well no, I think it had aftermarket like air intake on it, but
Right, right. But
it
still
wasn't
stock.
anything crazy. Stock engine. And then the next day for the long race, we rode Eric's bike because Eric had an R7 as well. And his was
Mm-hmm.
even more stock. He still has like the kickstand on it and everything.
No
Like
kidding.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
His was
yeah.
just like
So,
the back burner,
yeah.
Um,
So
we
it's
rode
different,
his,
kind
and
of.
actually, dude, it ended up dropping a valve in like
Wow.
3.5 hours into the race, or 3 hours in the race, something like
Wow.
that.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. We're still trying to figure out. Maybe it's like the riding style. Maybe we over revved the engine or something because
yeah.
they're stock bikes, stock fuel. I mean, it wasn't. We're not doing no crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
no, it was
but
interesting just being there and just, I mean, from watching indoor races on the television and stuff like
yeah,
that, it's different because you don't really get to see, everything all at once, right? We only get a small view of what really happens. But it was interesting to see on Saturday. the amount of chains that were getting jacked up on bikes and stuff like that. It's like
Yeah,
I was just thinking, can I do it physically? But then it's just kind of I realized like on the end of the day on Saturday, like the guys I was with, they did a lot of maintenance on the bike, replace the chain, replace the sprocket because a
yeah,
lot of 400s chains are jumping off and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
like the bike has to survive too, which is wild because we do these races and they're like I don't know 10 minutes 15 minutes, depending on, you might do 5 races, 6 races, a weekend and stuff like that. So it's big different than like a 3 hour race that you're constantly on a bike and just hammering it, right, man? So I learned a
yeah.
lot. So it was pretty cool. Was that your first time doing the race?
Well, my first time doing an endurance race on a big bike.
Okay.
So in my little my the racing I've done, I was really into I haven't raced with them in a minute, dude, which sucks, but I used to race with South Florida Mini GP for a few years.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The supermoto and the mini moto, all that good stuff. And I've done 4 hour races with them, and I also did the
Wow.
most the most fun race I've ever had in my life was, I think this was back in 2020 or 2019. We did the 12-hour endurance race at Bushnell with them
Oh,
on a
wow.
dude, that was the most fun I've ever had. 12-hour race. And we did
Okay.
it on I had a CRF 150R, which
Mm-hmm.
was my favorite motorcycle I've ever had on 17s. Um,
Okay.
a supermoto, of course. But
Yep, yep.
yeah, yeah, we did it on that bike the whole race, dude. It didn't skip a beat. The
Yeah.
150R.
Hondas,
That
man, you
bike,
gotta love
dude,
them.
and that bike was awesome because oh crap. It was a team of hold on a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a team of about I think it was 4 or 5 of us.
Okay.
Um
Yeah, 12
no,
hours.
no,
That's
no, no,
what.
sorry. It was like 5 or 6 of us. And and yeah, 12 hours, man. I think it started at what, like 8 a.m. and ended at 8 p.m. at night, something like that.
Okay. Wow,
And
that's got
then
to be crazy. So let's
yeah.
go back a little bit to when you first started racing, and we'll fill in the gap.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've
To
done a whole bunch of stuff.
2024. Yeah. So you're racing the '03 Gixxer. You started doing that with Florida. Is it Florida Motor Sports Series?
Florida Motorcycle Road Racing Association.
Yeah, and so let's talk about that, and and the different tracks you went to in the beginning and stuff like that, and what was that Jigsaw like, and let's talk
Yeah.
about the bikes that you've moved on to, because obviously at some point do you still have that Jigster?
No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
So
So,
yeah.
all right. So I had I had the '03 Gixxer 600,
Hmm.
and I bought it as a street bike, and I built it up to a race-ish bike. After that, I sold that, and I bought a this was like my first real race bike. I bought a '05 Gixxer 750,
Hmm.
and I bought this from a shop in Melbourne. I don't even know what
Okay.
the shop's name is. I forget what it is. But this was my first, like, I mean, when I bought the bike, I could smell the race fuel in the gas tank. Like,
Well,
it was like a
it was already
dead
set up.
yeah, dedicated track bike, like complete. And I was like, oh wow, this is it. I had that bike for a while, and I ended up crashing that one in Roebling Turn 4.
Okay.
After that, it totaled it, and so after that is when I bought the 2006 R6.
Okay.
But I bought the R6, and that is the one that I was like, all right, I'm gonna race this one.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
so that is the one. So around this time is when F like FMRRA was
Hmm.
starting, and
Yeah.
they at that time the only place that we raced was Palm Beach, Homestead, and I think they went to Jennings in the beginning. No, no, I don't think they raced. They raced in Jennings like one year, like one
Okay.
year they raced in Jennings, and so yeah, it was just literally like Palm Beach and Homestead back to back, like 1 month Palm Beach, 1 month Homestead. Um, but like I said, the first race that I did, it rained that weekend, and I remember I crashed in turn 1, 2, the little left right. I
Yeah. Yeah.
crashed in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
because it was raining and I lost the front and I crashed right in that turn. So, and I think that was like the only race of the season that I did. That was like just to pop my cherry, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Gotta just crash once.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But after that, I got ready, trained all summer. Then the second year is when, um, I started to take it a little bit more, like more seriously, right?
Yep.
Um, and then it was like at this time that I met more people because of my friend that I started racing with, Chris. I got introduced to my other, now he's like my really good friend. He also owns a shop. Well, he used to be down here, but now he moved away. But I don't know if you ever heard of the shop, South Florida Cycles.
I have not.
Okay, okay. Yeah, he was. His name is Alfie, and I met with him. He started coming to the track, and then we met some other guys. Sardis, who also owns a shop down here.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and we all started to get like a clique together. We got like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little,
yeah, yeah.
we got a group of homies, and it wasn't nothing, and it was just like honestly a bunch of guys. Like, all right, guys, we're all gonna get together and have fun, and like we weren't we weren't like seasoned racers or nothing like that. We're just like guys like trying to go fast and trying to look
Right.
cool and trying to like have good looking bikes. Like I remember Sardis, he would like every month he would get like a new bike and it would look great. He did new graph. He had the ZX10, he had the CBR 1000,
Wow.
and then Alfie would come up with like I don't know, like I was in a circle of guys and they'd always have like a new bike like every couple months. But
Was the pressure on for you to kind of get more
well,
bikes?
yeah. Well, I stuck with the R6, man. I stuck with my R6 for a while, and because that was
Yeah.
like the bike to have.
And,
Um,
and and what was so like? Let's talk about the R6 a little bit compared to the Gixxer and stuff
yeah,
like that. I mean, outside of the SV I had, SD 650 I had, it's only Suzuki I had. I've had a
yeah.
couple of R6s.
I raced I
I
raced
did
an SV for like 2 years.
nice.
In between all this stuff, I
Yeah,
raced an
yeah,
SV for a little
it's
bit.
a good bike to learn how to ride on,
Yeah,
and I wish I
it's
would
a
have
good
kept that
bike.
bike. But what was like? What was the R6 like versus the Gixxer to you and stuff like that? And how long did you keep the R6 for?
Well, I mean, the first time I rode the R6, I remember I just was like, I loved it, dude, because the Gixxer. Everybody could agree on this. The Gixxer is like a Cadillac, You sit in the bike. It's so comfortable. It's like plush, you
Yeah,
know. Especially, the old Gixxer, well, older Gixxers and stuff. But, when I got on the R6, it was like this thing is a knife. It would like you're screaming in like above 10,000 RPMs and the bike's just like, what? And you're just like, it was just like a weapon, man. Like
right.
I love the way it sounded, how it just screamed, and it just like the bike was just a fantastic track bike. Um, I had that R6, and then throughout the first I think like 2 3, I raced the R6 for like a good like I would say 3-ish, good solid 3 years. But with the R6, you crash it and you get this subframe from, or you get the swing arm from this year bike. Like it turned into a Frankenstein bike because it started off as like an '06 track bike, and then you know I raced like the first full season on it. Yeah, I did. I gotta. My memory's not good. I crashed so many times. um, um, all right. So the first like season I did on my R6 was kind of like a little wishy washy, whatever. And then
Uh-huh.
the second season is when I was like, all right, I want the bike to look good. I want to like really, like, I want to like try to like do this. I had the bug really bad, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so the first season was just like, oh, rattle can paint job, the suit, like I don't care, like I just want to race, I just want to ride. And then the second year I started to get a little bit more a cleaner looking bike, a nice paint job, a little bit more serious. I think at that time I started to work with Bike Pass Motorsports with German, and
Mm-hmm.
I was riding on Bridgestone tires, and I was like my sponsor with German, and I did. I think that year I did. I think I did pretty. I think that was my third year racing because the first year was kind of like a couple races. Second year was
Hmm.
me trying to catch up, but the third year I was like taking it. I was an amateur, but I think I got overall, like overall third place amateur. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I mean, I definitely had a lot to improve, and sometimes you get these overall trophies just by how many races that you enter. So
Right,
sometimes
right, right.
it's not necessarily like when you really earn it, like that means a lot more, and trust me, I know the difference when it's like, oh, I earned this versus, oh, I signed up for 100 races, I just bought it.
Right,
Um,
right. You still got to show up. You still got to finish.
yeah,
You
but
know what I mean? So
definitely, yeah. So yeah, that first, yeah, right. I got third place overall amateur, and um, I got some other like top finishes. I forget. I have the trophies all in my house. I forget what
yeah,
they are.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the Bridgestone Cup, I got first place, and then like super stock class, I got like one of the top threes or something like that. But yeah, that was the year. The following year after that, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to expert.
Okay,
Like
okay, okay.
yeah, because if you win a championship with I think at this time they had already no they didn't change it to Pan Am yet because this is before they changed it to Pan Am. Um,
Right,
if you win the championship, they'll boost you to expert.
right.
But
Yep.
I got
Yeah.
third, and I
Same
was
thing with CCS. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so, did you have the option to decline, or you wanted to go?
No, it was something that I asked them. I was like, oh, can I become an expert? And I was being a little bit ambitious, I guess, but um, with FMRA Pan Am,
Hmm.
they the way that they style their races is it's fantastic. It's you qualify, and then based on your qualifying time is where you line up to race.
Right,
So
right. Yeah, I like
you
that.
know
I raced with them
yeah,
last year for the first time when I moved after moving down to Florida.
yeah,
And I thought that was pretty cool doing it that way. And just it it's a different vibe than CCS
definitely.
and some of these other programs because all the races are on Sunday, so Saturday is all like quali, which is it gives a feel of like MotoGP World Superbike. Well, no MotoGP and World Superbike in the sense of like qualifying is only on Saturday and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. You know, the faster guys in the front. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but it's
Right,
cool in a sense too because if you're an amateur and you set some good lap times, you can ride up in the front with the experts. So
right,
when you're and like I was in that position where it was like sometimes I'd be like dicing with like the backpack or mid like maybe if I was lucky mid pack experts, but like backpack
right,
experts, and that would
right.
be like the motivation to like want to get faster, and that
Yeah,
would also help you get faster when you're riding with the faster people, right?
right.
So
Exactly.
so
So
yeah,
what was that?
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say, what was that like? So you asked to become an expert. They gave it to you,
Yeah,
and what was that like? You were still on the R6 at this time, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
was there as you say with Pan America series, it's always qualifying. So did it make a difference for you mentally?
um well, at by this time I was yeah, I mean, everyone wants to win, and when you're an amateur and you're like, oh, podium, yeah, podium, and then you go to expert and you make that jump, like
Yeah.
that defines like, hey, do you like this or do you like to be on the podium?
Right.
Like,
Right.
is this something you want to do? Because when you become expert, and especially me, like I said, I was ambitious. I was like, yeah, I want to try expert, and I'm getting like ninth place, like out of like 14 riders, like back of the pack and stuff. That's when you're like you have to really, do I really want to do this? Like, how fast do I want to push myself? How fast do I want to go? Um but yeah, man, I love it. So for me, I always knew like this is expert, this isn't amateur. Like this is the
Right.
guys
Right.
that these are the guys that are like have been doing this for years. So if I can get mid pack with these guys, if I can prove myself, like I know that means like okay, like I'm getting better as a rider. I'm getting fast. Like I'm doing the right thing. So
Yeah.
so in the beginning, yeah, obviously it's a little bit disheartening, right? You're like, oh man. I got 12th
Right.
place, I got 10th place. You're like, damn it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then you have to realize, dude, I'm riding with, these fast, like Florida has a lot of fast riders, man. Like I don't care. All these kids coming out of Florida now and all the names that are coming out of Florida, like we have a lot of fast people. So if you can get like top expert position down here, man, like you're good. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
Florida's got some fast guys down here.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, you touched on one thing, and I realize this, over the years as well. You talk about, becoming an expert, and this is when you know if you really want to do it. And I remember being an amateur, and guys would become experts, and then over the last few years, looking back, you would see like they stopped coming to the track. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And I always wondered myself if it's like, is it a mental thing? Because like at Loudon, and everyone will say that their state has fast guys because there's a lot of fast guys up in New England too.
yeah,
But you got like Eric Woods and Greenwood, these guys that they're former pro racers. So like if you're an expert and you're on a 600 or 1,000, it's going to be hard to beat these guys. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And so I wondered if that when you're an amateur and you're winning and you're winning and you're winning and you're winning, now you're an expert, and like you say, you're finishing 12th and ninth and in these things. And how many seasons can you mentally tolerate that for? Because I remember, like I mentioned, I started on my SV, and I raced like 2, 3 seasons, and I started riding a twin on the street. So I
yeah,
switched to an R6 in 2017, and it took me like a year just to wring the neck off that bike and get comfortable with the RPMs and stuff like that, because the twins, it's right, so everything's down low.
yeah,
um and mentally, and like I was finishing at the back as an amateur for some years, just trying to figure it out. But like mentally, for a lot of people, it's tough to finish at the back of the grid, or finish in the back. And I think some experts walk away from the track, because they're not ending up on the podium,
yeah,
like they were as an amateur.
yeah,
Do you kind of feel the same way?
yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, okay. So when you talk about like experts trying to stepping away and stuff, I mean, if you look at some of these guys in Moto America, like you watch Moto America, right? Of
Hmm.
course you do. Yeah. So it's like when you see guys in Moto America, and it's like, oh man, this guy's really fast. He's not having a good season. He's just finishing back of the pack. And then he comes out, the next year with a new sponsor, a new rider, or whatever, or a new team, and he's like, and he's killing it. I mean, the
Right,
same thing
right.
with all motorsports. I mean, um, I don't know. I think it's just the ambition of the rider. I mean, in general, like, um, you have to really love it.
I agree. I agree. I
Uh,
think that's the thing that gets you over adversity.
yeah,
The willing to get up and train, because I guess from 2015, 2016, I trained like I'm running a marathon. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
was been fortunate enough to be able to run a couple of them, and and that was a big deal for me, because before that, I would pull out of races because physically I couldn't stay on the bike. That kind of thing, and mentally I had to, I'm doing it because it's all club racing, it's all fun, but nonetheless, like there's a big difference of being in shape and going to the track and not being in shape. You have a lot more fun when you're in shape, and it
yeah,
took a
yeah,
while for me to to wrap my head around that, and just the adversity of the same thing. Like for a long time, I was finishing in the back, and 2021 was probably like one of my best years. I won some regionals and stuff like that.
nice, nice.
But it's a mental thing. It's the
Yeah,
ability to kind of like always trying to get better.
yeah,
And I got to ride home from races and decompress and think of first you just want to flip the bike over because it didn't work out the way you want, but then
yeah,
the ride home for me, like I could process, okay, these were great, these things were good, this is what I need, and slowly put it
yeah,
together. And that takes a lot, but you have to love it for you to want to figure that out. I think that's anything in life, though, regardless if
Yeah.
it's motorcycle riding or music or whatever. You have to really love it. And I think for the people that don't have that, I think, and the success is not there like it used to be, or not, and sometimes it's just financial because it's a very expensive sport too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
100%.
like I said, I do see a lot of experts. There's a lot, like I mostly race CCS.
Yeah.
When it was, I did LRRS when Loudon was part of the series.
Hmm.
And then I in 21, or yeah, 2020, I started doing both. Started coming down to Homestead and doing that. So yeah, so let's get back to you though, and you're racing the R6 and having a good time. Now, did you decide to move on to a different bike? And was it a
Yeah.
bigger bike, the same bike, or
Of
did you
course.
go smaller?
Of course. So this is going into, what we're talking about, how, so I think it was the first year I'm expert 600. And at this time is when the BMWs started like getting popular, right?
Okay,
And
yeah, yeah.
there was a guy local down here, um, and him and I were friendly, and he let me ride. He had a bunch of BMW S1000s, and he let me ride it for one track day. Well, uh, so
Like Haley, you went out and bought a BMW.
so I'm coming off an R6, and R6 is a dinosaur, dude. No gear indicator,
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, and you get on this bike, and it's like, doo, 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 oh, doo, doo, like quick shifter, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man! And the thing handled fantastic. Like it was
Mhm.
amazing. I fell in love with it, and I think like within 6 months, I had bought it off the guy,
Oh,
and
no kidding! Wow.
yeah, dude, I fell in love, man, and I fell in love with that. That it was awesome. So yeah, so I had the R6 still, and then I got the BMW. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna race both. Here I'm getting like really cocky and really like
Yeah,
excited
yeah,
and all
yeah,
this stuff.
yeah. I
But
did that too.
yeah, and you get all these dreams and hopes in your mind, and yeah, I'm gonna and uh, so this one weekend, it was at Palm Beach, and I think this was the weekend that my really good friend, another good friend that I made, No Dane, he crashed at Palm Beach like really bad that they had to helicopter him out, and
Okay.
because he lost consciousness. And I think the next race after that, I went out on the BMW, and I remember we're going down the back straight, and the back straight was like 3/4 of a mile long,
Oh, wow.
and
Okay.
yeah, it was just it was really long back straight at that track, and we came into the group. This was like the first lap, or so the warm up lap. I don't know, something like that, like the first lap. And I came in the group, and I hit the brakes, and the bike endoed, and I slammed back down, and my feet came off the pegs, and I
Mhm.
ran straight. I almost hit the guy in front of me, and I ran straight. And this was like the first lap. And
Yeah.
my friend had just gotten injured, just flown out, and this was the first race after that. And after that, dude, I came in. I went off the track. I came inside. I put the bike up, and I sat down, and I like almost had a nervous breakdown because I was just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, dude, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, this is crazy. Like, my friend just got it. Like, that was a point that it was just a little too much for me. Um,
Yeah. And
and then,
you're
yeah,
human, right? Because that's the same thing. I've been at the track as well. When fatalities happen as well, and it's kind of
yeah,
like,
man.
yeah, I'm not racing. Well, if anything like that happened, racing is shut down for the day. But I had to think long and hard if I was going to get on the bike the next day. It was
Yeah,
definitely like coming to Jesus moment. Like, yeah,
dude.
you
Yeah,
know,
like I said, I came into the guy in front of me, and I hit the front brake, and the bike came out. And oh shit! It came down, and my foot came out, and
yeah,
I'm doing my feet are out like this, and I'm like, ah! I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and in my helmet, I'm like, I gotta get the fuck off the track. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I can cuss.
No worries,
Like,
it's all good.
I gotta get the fuck off the track. I gotta get the fuck out of here. I'll never forget that moment, dude. And that was when I was like, and I had rode the 1000 a couple times, like at Jennings, and
Yeah,
I never,
yeah,
I never rode it at Homestead, but I rode it a couple times, and in my head, I'm like telling myself, like, wow, this bike is fast, dude. Because the 1000s are fantastic. The electronics, they look great, they sound amazing. But
Oh
just
yeah.
like, man, when you crack that throttle and you're like at 80% throttle and the bike is going really fast and you have to go to 100% throttle and the bike is like the whole front end is picking up and getting squirrely and the back end's going sideways because you're going so freaking fast.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude, it's crazy, man. So I don't my so my time with the 1000 was short lived because I think, and then also I think around this, I forget exactly what happened. This might have been like around COVID, dude. You know,
Right,
this might
right.
have been around, was it 2000,
2020.
2021?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, because like around this time is when like or maybe I forget something happened, man. I think maybe I got hurt on my supermoto because I around the period of like 2018, 2019 ish, I was riding a lot. So I was doing mini GP, I was doing track days on the R6, like I was riding a lot. And
oh, nice.
yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, I was very fortunate. I was able to ride a lot. But yeah, something happened. I think maybe I got hurt, but I was out for a little bit and then COVID happened. And
Right.
then, COVID kind of reset everything,
It
you
sure
know.
did.
Yeah, I had to change my job. I had to switch my job schedule. I have a daughter. My daughter, in the beginning of my racing, my daughter was what, she was like 3 or 4 years old. Now,
Hmm.
so it just things got, I don't know, just life started happening, right?
Yeah, yeah,
COVID
yeah,
was
yeah.
a big catalyst, and or during COVID, I think I decided to sell the BMW. So I was
Okay.
like deep down, it didn't really make me happy, and it gave me too much anxiety. I didn't
Yeah, yeah,
enjoy
yeah, yeah.
riding it,
Yeah.
and
No,
I
that's
think around,
interesting. Go ahead.
yeah. Go ahead. Well,
No,
I was
that's
gonna go
interesting because
into, yeah, yeah.
yeah, go ahead. I'll let you finish your thought.
Okay. Um, because then no, because I did have an SV at some point too. Because but I forget exactly when in the story I had the SV. I think it was like after COVID coming back. I think I
I
got the
got you.
SV.
Okay.
Yeah. But what were we gonna ask?
Yeah, like just the anxiety.
Yeah.
I so in 21, I started doing all the rounds with CCS and Azra.
Yeah.
So I did between Loudon and CCS and Azra outside of the West Coast. Although I did go to Black Hawk, I did I did like 21 rounds, right?
Oh,
Which was
nice.
awesome, which was awesome. But I also got in a
Yeah.
couple of accidents on the R6. Not my fault. I got rear-ended once at Jersey. And then I tucked the front deliberately at Loudon to not run over a rider. Um, and same thing. It was just kind of like, I'm older. I'm doing it for fun.
Yeah.
I know myself. Like on a racetrack, I don't do anything I can't do. If I know I can't do it, I'm not. I'm not. That's not. This is not where I'm going to figure out if I can or can't. When I was younger, for sure, I would have,
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
I ride my pace and I have my fun. But it was the same thing on the R6. And so I ended up getting a RC 390 and started
Uh-huh.
racing the smaller class. And in 20, I guess in 20, so in 22, I raced both middleweight and small bike. And then in 23, I just raced the RC 390.
Yeah.
Same thing it's like and now I'm back on the R6 again now. But there was a period in time where it was just like, let's go, like, let me just go. I just want to have fun and ride home. I mean, I've crashed like 8 times between the track and the street. I've lost my
Yeah.
spleen. I got a screw in my hand. You know what I'm
Holy
saying?
crap.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just kind of like, I just want to, I want to have fun and get home every. Not to say you can't jack yourself up on the small bikes, right? Because obviously you
Yeah.
can. But that
Yeah.
anxiety
You
though
can.
of like trying to like, okay, I'm not going to the pros. This is fun.
Yeah.
A lot of younger people tend to like the middleweight and the big bikes. A lot of younger
Yeah.
people tend to ride a little more aggressive, or maybe try to ride above their skill set. I guess is the best
Well,
way to put it.
I think, you get to the point in your writing where you realize this the saying, it's more fun to ride a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow.
Yeah, exactly.
When you experience that moment, you understand, oh, this is what they're talking about. Because
Yeah.
yeah, because like it's like right now, or like I said, I race the SV 650, and I'm sure you racing the 390. Like riding just 100% throttle on the gas, on the gas,
Right.
on the gas. Like that's the best when you get to ride you just beat the crap out of the bike. That's the best, man. Because
Right,
when
right.
you're on the 1000 and you're like you're holding on for dear life at 75% throttle, that's not fun. Like you want to be wah, wah, wah. Um,
Exactly. I'm just doing a little
yeah,
reset here. I don't know what just happened to my camera, but we'll
yeah.
make it work. No, you're absolutely right, man. It is one of those things where you do have that moment and try to figure out, like, okay, what do I really want to do? But like, but to go back to like, I started, so I raced the RC 390 for a couple of years. I did the Pan American Series last year
Yeah.
on that bike as well. But then
Yeah.
I did a track at Homestead, like the end of I guess the end of 24. Yeah, I think the end of 24, and I brought the R6, and I was just like, oh, I missed this bike, you know.
Yeah, man.
And then I went to
Dude,
Barber with it, and I was just
yeah.
like, okay, So it was like a weird period that you kind of It's interesting that my screen keeps changing. Um, it's interesting how we go through that mentally, like
Listen, man, nothing beats because right now I race a twin. I race the Super Hooligan, the
uh-huh.
Duke 890.
Yep.
But nothing beats like a fully fared like race bike with an inline four engine, dude. Nothing,
Yeah, yeah.
just the sound and the scream and the feel and the shifting.
Yeah.
And when you're on the bike and you feel like a MotoGP racer and you're like, like I don't know, like trust me, deep down, well, I want to buy like every bike, but deep down, I want to get another.
Same here.
I want to get another either a 600 or a 1000. I don't know. I kind of want to. I want to get like a fully fairing race bike one of these days. I'll probably get one at some point. But yeah. I mean, now I race the twin, and trust me, I love the bike I have now. I love it. I have so much fun on it. But
Right,
yeah,
right. I hear you there. I go ahead.
yeah, like you say, having the R6, like the R6 is just a badass bike, dude. No one can say it's not. You're above 10,000 the whole time, and you're like,
Oh yeah.
it shifts smooth. It's a great, those engines are awesome. So I think it's normal.
It's all
What
right.
you're feeling is normal.
Exactly. I'm gonna switch cameras. I'm not quite sure what my camera is trying to do right now.
Yeah, it keeps
It,
like falling down or something.
and it's not. It literally like I got Ghost in the Machine at the moment. So we're almost wrapping up. But yeah, no,
Uh,
I feel you there. So I just got the new like you. I like all bikes. Like I mean,
yeah, man.
I still have six bikes, two RCs. I still have two Ducati. So I just bought a V4, the 25 one to do track days
Oh
on.
boy. Oh
Um,
boy.
yeah. So
Oh
yeah,
boy.
since the R6 was starting to feel slow to me, might as well go get a V4. But for me, and I really haven't told anyone this on camera, but it's more to do like bigger tracks. Like I'm gonna go out to Coda with it and do a track day on, and it's like a bucket
Hey,
list bike.
Hey,
It's
I did Kodo once when with my buddy Chris, the guy I met from high school. He, like I
yeah,
said, him and I were like, y'all, like one of the things he convinced me to do. He's like, dude, let's go to Coda, and I'm like, no, that's crazy. He's like, come on, bro. It was like $500 for the day. We
yeah,
look,
yeah,
we put both bikes in the back of my truck. I had just
yeah.
bought the truck like 6 months prior,
Right,
and
right.
we put both in bikes and we drove for like a day and a half straight. We get there and it was the best experience of my life. We rode for one day and we're like turn around and come home, which that was another I did a lot of stupid things when I was younger, but that was a stupid thing. I should have rode all weekend and enjoyed
Right,
ourselves, but
right. Yeah.
we went out there, rode for one day, turned around and came back. But yeah, I can say that I rode Kodo one time, and that was on my '05 Gixxer 750, the one that I had.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah.
So
So I plan to do these
you
track
got to
days
do
on
it.
that
You're
bike.
gonna love it.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna do right now at the moment it's September for Coda and probably Laguna Seca in September. And I might try to do a
Wow.
homestead around. Just my schedule is just crazy right now, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
start racing again in May. So
Yes.
I have to go to Loudon to test the R6. I'm swapping motors and testing out by KTM just to make sure it's good before I bring them back down.
Yeah.
So scheduling is the only thing that's just jacking me up. Um, but yeah, no, the full fairing bikes, the R6, I love that bike. I love that bike, riding that bike at L track, the Daytona. I don't know if I'm gonna
Yeah.
race it again, because I mean, like with the show's, which is great, the show's going well, and
Yeah.
my schedule's getting a little crazy. I'm like, huh, now I got to give up racing because I got to do stuff with the show.
Oh no.
I don't know if I'm like,
What what
I mean, I can't complain.
yeah.
But
Yeah, that's
I
good,
hope
man.
to. So my plan is to leave the R6 up north. I'm gonna race at the Classic.
Yeah.
I'll probably race in April at Loudon, race at the Classic, and I got some, hopefully some opportunities to do some track days. So I want to leave a bike up north, so that way I don't have to trailer up every time. I
Yeah.
can kind of just
Yeah.
fly up and then get a bike, to Jersey, or get a bike up to New York, or any of those tracks up north and stuff like that. And then keep the RCs down here and race down here and stuff. But I hear you. So do you miss the BMW at all?
No, to be honest. I mean, well, no, I take that back. I do miss the 1000s.
Yeah,
Just like you say, man, the power just the power is addicting, but like if I ever had I would say I would get one just when I'm like getting out of racing. Because if I get a bike, I want to race it. Like that's just the way
right,
I
right,
am,
yeah.
you know?
No,
So if I were yeah.
go ahead.
No, because if I were to get another 1000, which, like I said, I love the 1000s, like the V4, the thing sounds amazing. It looks amazing. But it would just be for like, all right, I'm going to get this just for track days, you know,
Right,
and I'm not going to
exactly.
race it, also where I live too. I live down in South Florida. So it kind of sucks for racetracks because when I want to go do an event, like the racing is perfect because it's like, all right, once a month I can schedule it and I can, all right, if I drive to, like the first race is May, supposedly it's Barber, that's
Right,
like I plan it with the family, I got two kids and all that. So we plan, we go, and it's like, all right, once a month I can plan these events,
right. Yeah.
because these tracks are like, 6 hours away. Well,
Ye-
no, sorry. Barber's like 12 hours away, but like
right, right.
Roebling and Jennings is like a good 6 hours.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I have to say
so
that's the beauty of being down here, because I was in Boston, and I mean, Loudon is an hour and a half for me, which is awesome.
yeah, it's
But
close.
then like Jersey was 7 hours, 8 hours to Summit. And then even I did Pitt one year, and that was like 14 hours. Even I did Black Hawk, and that was almost
Oh wow.
28 hours to drive.
Oh
And then
yeah,
I
but
did
but you
Homestead,
were
so I
smart. You probably saved for the whole weekend.
yeah.
You didn't
Yeah.
go for just like one day.
No,
Oh
I
my
saved for the whole
dumbass.
weekend. But it's interesting. Like this last year, I didn't really drive more than like 14 hours to go to the track and stuff like that. So I'm
Yeah,
trying to be smarter and kind of
yeah,
like this
what,
year. I'm probably gonna race between Pan America, CCS, and Loudon, and just kind of show up at different times. Versus like I'm not
yeah,
gonna race for any championships or anything like that, which is kind of weird. It
yeah,
definitely feels weird because I'm very competitive, and
yeah,
it's like, yeah,
yeah,
I can't even, at the moment, I don't even go. I like, some people just go to a racetrack and hang out. Like I still can't do that. Like if I'm going to a racetrack, I'm bringing a bike. I can't just
yeah.
like go watch
Exactly,
people race and stuff like that, man.
exactly. Yep.
I still gotta
Yep.
go. And even, 'cause I used to go watch MotoGP races, a few of them. I was fortunate enough to go with Mugello, Assen, and
Oh
Coda.
wow, that's
And
awesome.
then this was all before the pandemic, and then after I started going up and down the East Coast, I was just kind of like, instead of going to watch the races, I want to do a track day. And so this is why I got the Panigale now, because it's like, this is a bike, like, I'm gonna do track days on this bike, and hopefully, go to the bigger tracks.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to do as many tracks as I can in the U.S. And then, if everything goes well, start going overseas and doing track days overseas on that bike.
Wow, now that would be that would be a good story to tell, man. That would be awesome.
We shall see. It's the bucket list. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
But it's a huge commitment. But at this point, it's that's like I said, I'm not going to go race in Motor America or anything like that. So for me, I like challenges. So it's the new challenge, just to get out. And I'm curious to see what that 25 V4 is like with all the tech on it, because that thing has 5 computers on it, man. It's pretty wild.
Well, definitely if you bring it to Coda, I mean that's a track for a 1000. You know, you have the two long straightaways, right? You
Yep,
know,
yep. Oh yeah.
so
I mean,
you're
I
gonna
know it's in the
be
video game.
yeah, and that track it's so wide and it's so smooth. From what I remember, I mean it was amazing. So
Nice.
that's
So
definitely you're definitely gonna have a good time.
nice. So before we wrap up, let's talk about
Yeah.
what life is like as an expert. Racing the KTM. Is it the 790 twin?
So I first got a 790. The first I bought a 790 from somebody off the Wira forum, and it was totally set up. So that was
Nice.
the first year that I raced that one, and then that was in what year are we in 2025? That was in what 22? Yeah, in 2022 I had that bike, the 790. Um,
Hmm.
I ended up winning the. Well, no, I think I got it in 2022. I got that bike. I ended up racing it, and I won. No, sorry. 23, I got the bike. No, 22, I got the bike. 23, I started racing it, something like that. I won the championship in twins and expert
Okay.
on that
Nice.
bike for Pan Am,
Hmm.
and then I got just like the motorcycle racers we are. I wanted to go faster, so I bought the 890 because I
Okay.
wanted to because I was racing against guys on the Aprilias and they were just a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah,
faster than me, and I
yeah,
wanted to get the
yeah,
eight. I wanted to get the 890 because that's the one that they race in Moto America, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do a Moto America race. You know, all these crazy thoughts.
yeah.
Um, so I got the 890. Um, well, I bought it brand new off the showroom floor, and I converted everything. I put everything from the 790 onto the 890.
Yeah.
I ended up going to the track in January in 24 um, last year, and the first I ended up. Long story short, I ended up blowing up the engine like
Oh,
the second time I brought it to the track. I blew it up somehow.
wow.
Yeah, I spun a bearing or something. It started knocking.
Yeah,
I screwed it up. So long story short, 2024 was I didn't have a bike all year because I blew up the engine in January.
yeah,
I put the bike back to stock. I brought it back to the dealer and I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Something happened. It made
yeah,
a weird
yeah,
noise.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know." So they warranted me the engine. My
Oh,
friend kind of helped me out. So
nice.
I got a warranty engine from the dealer because the bike had like 90 miles on it.
Yeah,
Brand
yeah, yeah.
brand spanking new.
Aren't you supposed to
Um,
do braking miles?
well,
Yeah, I guess you
so
broke the miles.
so but that's the thing. I know Japanese bikes, like you can just like break them in on the dyno, which is what I
Yeah,
did with the KTM. I brought it to my engine guy. Shout out Alan Precision Performance. He broke it in on the dyno. He tuned it. Um, and I brought it to the track. But yeah, you're 100% right. KTM, these European bikes, they're different, man. Like you have to break them in on the street, and then after they hit the certain mileage, they unlock their ECUs and all this other bull
yeah,
crap.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, so yeah, I messed that one up, but
yeah,
it pretty much ruined my 2024 season.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I didn't race at all. I finally got the bike back. I got it all set up, and now I've ridden it a couple times, and my goal is for this year to win the championship again with the twins class. So,
Nice, nice,
but
awesome, man.
yeah, so that's my goal for this year. I hope they release a schedule for Pan Am.
Yep, they
So
have.
the races are they have the first round at Barber, and then all the other races are like Roebling, Palm Beach. I'm sorry, Roebling,
Homestead.
Homestead.
Yeah,
Yeah, and where else? I think they're going into one more track, I think, or
I,
it's just
I,
Roebling, Homestead,
I
and
think it's just
Barber.
Roland Homestead and Barbara.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, I think so.
yeah,
I thought I
yeah.
saw, yeah, maybe CCS is going to VIR, I think, trying to go to VIR.
Yeah. No, I know the season's a little bit. I think they only have like 6 rounds this year, but to be honest, listen, I'm just grateful that I can go out there and race, and I want to race with these guys again. Like last year was a little messed up, and you know, I'm just great. I mean, I'll take anything. I'm not picking and choosing whatever I can do. So I'm just
Right, exactly.
excited to get back out there. Excited to race. And I hope to do good this year. Like I said, I've been very patient with this bike and getting it ready. And I have one more. I'm gonna go test it in Jennings for Monkey Work Cycle. It's having a
Yeah.
private track day event in the first of
Okay.
April. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go out there for that weekend and do like my final testing, and
Yeah.
I should be ready for
Nice,
May.
nice. And
So
before I let you go, I mean, what was
yeah,
that like
man.
taking the year off last year, and what did you do to keep yourself busy?
uh, well, I ride dirt bike a little bit. I have the KTM Supermoto, and I try to ride that whenever I can. But that's another a 3 hour drive to the track, a 3 hour drive home. So that's a little bit in between. But I stay busy, man. I'm always on two wheels. I road bike, I mountain bike.
Okay.
I have some places near me that I ride my dirt bike. Um, go to the gym. Trust me. I mean, you and all of us are all the same thing, man. If we're not on the bike, we're thinking about being on the bike. When we go to the gym, we're thinking about why are we working out to be faster on the bike.
Yeah.
Like everything I do is like, all right, how can I get better on the bike? I'm
Yeah.
watching
No. No.
racing. You
Yep.
know,
No, that's the
so
crazy part. It is the I think that I mean I stumbled into this world of motorcycle riding and racing. But I don't know what kind of shape I would be in if I didn't have it. 'Cause
I
this is
tell
the
you,
thing that keeps me in shape.
and I mean, I'm so happy I started. I mean, I'd be a lot richer without it, but
That is
but
true.
listen, probably a lot less injuries. I got a bump in my hand. I got a weird shoulder. I got another weird shoulder.
Oh yeah.
But
No,
no, no, it's all good, man.
no doubt. Well, I want to thank you for coming on, Will. I appreciate it, man. I can keep talking all night. I know you got
Yeah,
the
no, me
youngins and
too.
you got to get back to them.
Yes,
But I will
sir.
definitely see you at the track for sure, and tell people how they can find you on social media.
Yeah, my social media is Willie Wings 280 on Instagram. But I mean, my profile is set to private. If you're on eBay, I got an eBay store, W Wings FL. That's like my little side thing to pay for my racing. So if you're looking for
Nice.
OEM parts, find me on eBay. Um, but yeah, man, I'll see you at the Pan Am race in May, and if not
Definitely.
there, I'll see you at Homestead next time you come down here, man.
No, for sure, man. Thank you for coming on the show, man. Peace.
All right, have a good night, brother.
Yep.